feel it, just dance along. Keep the feeling going on and on. If you feel it, just dance along. Dance along, dance along, yeah. Yeah, if you feel it, just dance along. Got to keep the feeling going on and on. Yeah, if you feel it, just dance along. Dance along. Oh, it just feels so good. I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, I just feel so good.
Well, that's one of the things I have to take care of is close all the windows. But another thing I have to take care of is my water is actually critical. It's below my quarter tank markings, which is quite low, which means I probably have a gallon or two until my pump runs empty. And I haven't ran empty yet. Thankfully, I know a spot an hour and a half away that's a really good camp spot, and there's a free dump and water station there. So we're going to cruise over there. It's not too scenic, so we'll just pick you up when we get over there. Now I'm fairly critical on water. I think I have maybe 1 gallon at the most before it starts pumping air, which is bad. That's not even enough for me to drink for a day or wash dishes for a day. So I'm going to push on to Alamogordo, which is somewhere I was last year, and it wasn't that special, but this drive I'm about to do is pretty cool. I got to go up and over the mountains, so I'm looking forward to that. I was really looking forward to staying in Truth or Consequences, which is where I'm at now, actually a ball field there, but the dump station's closed for environmental reasons, and the water is also locked. If I could just get water, I'd be okay, because that's what I really need, but I can't get water and my dump is fine. But I do know that there's another spot in Alamogordo, and there's actually 2 spots in Alamogordo, which is a huge bonus to me. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. It's about 5 o'clock, so I'll get there about 7 o'clock. It's a little late, but I'll get that dumped, and then I'll try to go find a place to park. I know a place just out of town, and I'm sure there's somewhere else if I can't stay there. And I know a few creative spots that I could probably get away with. So I'm not too worried about finding a place to park. My bloody nose is still giving me issues. I figured out not to be worried about it, I'll say at least 6 months ago. I always find a spot, and if I don't, I just keep driving until I find one. You lower your standards after a while, and once your standards are lower enough, you can park anywhere and sleep, and then I just wake up early and take off before any serious traffic comes. So that's where we're at. It's going to get dark here soon. You can tell the sun is going down. It's not too spectacular today, but wanted to get you updated, and I'm going to get driving. I'm about to go through White Sands in the dark, which is how I went through it the first time I went through. So 2 for 2 going this way in the dark, but we'll see you on the other side, and hopefully with a good update. Okay, you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. I made it to the dump station. It's down below me here. I got my porta potty already dumped and refilled, and now I'm just refilling my water. I was so low. I'm thankful that this has high pressure here. It has a leaky faucet, but I managed to get it in a position where it doesn't squirt all over me. One tip with those is just throw a rag over it. Hopefully you can't hear this train. I'm trying to talk loudly so that it picks up just my voice. But Alamogordo is a pretty loud place, but it's got a lot of amenities. I'm going to debate after I finish up here. I'm going to fuel up, and then I'm going to debate whether I just stay at this truck stop and get a $7 shower, which is a real steal, I gotta be honest. Get breakfast in the morning or go for a more private location where I can run Winnie. I don't really plan on staying here long. I plan on leaving in the morning, but it would be really nice to wake up to breakfast. And I think that's where I'm leaning right now. We'll see where I'm at. So the truck stop had cheap showers, $7. So I decided to get myself a shower. It's pretty nice, clean room. I don't know about you, but I used to think truck stop showers would be like kind of gross and stuff. And I haven't really come across an example of a dirty one yet. I've seen some that are not as clean as the others, but for the most part, they're usually really nice and clean. So I'm gonna get a shower in here. I'll take $7 over $14 or $15 is the most I've seen. So $7 is pretty cheap and everything looks really nice and clean. So I'm excited for that. And what I have is I just have a bag that I just grab and it has all the stuff I need to go and take a shower. It makes it much easier than grabbing individual things. And then when I do other stuff outside of taking showers in truck stops or campgrounds or something, then I'll pull stuff out and change it then. But my standard is I just have a bag with my loofah attached to it, and it has everything I need to take a shower and clean up afterwards. So quite nice. I'm definitely going to take the opportunity if I have a good cheap shower. And the reviews for this cafe here are pretty decent, so I'm going to try to get some food in the morning. I didn't really eat a lot today, so I'm going to be hungry tomorrow. I have food in the van, but it is about 9:10 and it's ready to go. It's about 9:10 and I'm ready to go to bed. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm parked over by this Napa, which is perfect because I want to get some parts for the trailer. I want to get a spare set of bearings and bearing seals just in case. And I also want to get the brake cleaner so that I can clean my bearings more easily. And I want to get a better working grease gun so that I can grease my bearings more easily instead of taking them apart periodically. So with that, I'm going to go to bed. It wasn't really the most exciting day, but I got quite a bit done just here at this spot. So with that, Winnie and I are going to go to bed and we'll see you in the morning. Well, got the burrito. It looks amazing. I'm going to chow down on this, go over to the auto parts store, get my stuff, and then go shopping. Doing good. It's only 10:30, and we'll be ready to go. Hey, Winter. Hey, Winter. Hey, Winter. Since I have a little bit of time, I'm going to CLR my dirty faucet and stuff, and then I'm going to add a cup holder that I've been looking for a while, and when I was looking for something else yesterday, I finally found it, so I'm going to get that installed in the perfect spot for a little cup holder. If you look, here's my drawer, and then there's nothing here, but I can put a cup holder right there. So wait and see how that bad boy looks. So I got these 4 little screws. They're just little, I think they're 1-inch screws or smaller, except this one, it's a little big. Little guys. So those will work for holding up the cup holder. And here's my little cup holder. Boop. Goes like that, and then you can adjust it to whatever size you want, and it holds it right there. So that's pretty nice. I have 2 of these, but the other one I don't want to move just because I painted. So let's get this guy installed. Yes. There you go. I love these little cup holders. They're awesome. You just flip it down, pop up the little holder, and now I can put any size drink I want in there. pretty awesome. And it won't go anywhere when I drive, which is the key. I really like having somewhere to put my drinks so that if I forget about it and drive off, I'm not too concerned. I also like to have a place to put my drinks that's not on a countertop where my laptop or phone or iPad could be, or my camera gear. I don't want that catastrophic failure to cost me thousands of dollars. So this works really nice to have these guys. And there's one project down, so let's move on to project number 2. This one's pretty easy too, but it's really handy to have around. So you can see how nasty those are. Well, they're not really bad, but I kind of have high standards. So with the CLR, I should just be able to dip it in there and let it soak for a few minutes, few seconds, and it'll clean it right off for me. And let's see if that works. You see how those are all kind of all over the place? That's what we're going to fix right there. So let's see if the CLR does the trick. I have just enough in there to, about that much in there, just enough to cover the surface that I want to cover. Cheers. Now that is a ton better. Much happier with that spray pattern than the all over the place spray pattern. So we'll go forward and see how it does with this guy. Alright, so that's how it works with the faucet. You just hold it up there for a while, kind of scrub a little bit, and it cleans right off. I cleaned off the little spout for my filter as well. I think that's just because water sits there a lot and then dries out over time. It's always drying out there. So I think that's why it deposited there. There's not a lot coming through, but minerals are actually good. So as long as I don't have a lot of bad minerals coming through, I'm good, and it filters out all the ones that I'm really concerned with. And I got that cup holder finally put in. I am so stoked. That thing's the best. And I also cleaned my teapot. So I'm going to call that 2.5 projects done because I added the teapot in there. It's never been cleaner. The CLR works really good. Rinsed it out really good as well, and I'll scrub it with soap before I drink out of it too, to make sure I get all that chemical out of there. So I think we're all ready to go now. It's 1 o'clock, which means my second estimate was actually the most accurate. I'm okay with that. We got the projects out of the way, got some necessities, got some backup stuff, got some food. So we're gonna go hit the road, and I'll see you just a little bit down the road.
Place to rest my bones. Can recall life like this. And Sunday come and I go wrong. Yes, she found herself another. By evening she was gone. I picked up.
Hello, so we're a little bit east of Cloudcroft, up in the mountains here in New Mexico. The mountains are pretty surprising here. You go from about 4,000 feet down in the desert valley up to about 8,600 feet in Cloudcroft, and right here I'm about 8,000 feet. So it's still cold for me. The temperature decreased as I came up here, but it is beautiful. I always take time to pause in the forest when I go up in altitude to the point where I'm actually in a forest. In these desert areas. Nevada has a lot of that, Utah, anywhere where there's deserts. If you get up into the mountains, you can usually find some good forests. California. So taking advantage of it up here. Cloudcroft is a cool little town. It's got a ski area. So I'm just up here letting Winnie run, breathing the air. There's definitely a sense of relief and a big stress relief for both me and Winter when we get up into the forest. I came up, I just saw like an arrow pointing up here. It looked like a national forest one. It looks like it just keeps going up. So there's the corner. I came up back here, and then it curves and goes up here. So it's looking pretty steep. Just getting to where I'm at now is pretty steep. Not the best decision. I should have just backed back down onto the road. Instead I thought, oh, I'll just turn around up there. So I came up this, it's hard to tell, but there's a whole bunch of rocks there. Came up and then turned and came over here. Trailer making a lot of noise, rattling and banging around. And then when I back up, I'm just going to try to go straight back across this channel here, and then I should be able to make the turn to get back out of here. I'm not going to film it because I'm just trying to get moving, but it'll be an interesting challenge. But I like those. Good. Story time on this stretch of road. I was out here last spring, late winter, and it didn't look like this. It was one big dust storm. The whole, like, you could see maybe, a quarter mile ahead. Just enough to be able to see somebody coming at you, but you don't necessarily have the amount of warning that you'd like. And it was like 60-mile-an-hour crosswinds. Just brutal conditions. That's why I was leaving. I was going to go to the Carlsbad Caverns that day, but it was just so nasty and windy, and it wasn't going to go away anytime soon, and I didn't want to deal with it any longer, so I skipped the caverns again like I'm doing this trip, and took off back that way rather than this way that I'm going right now. And so I got up in the mountains just to get away from the wind, and then it got better, and then I went back down, and the wind got worse, so I went back all the way up and over and into another mountain range, and ended up next to the Rio Grande River, which is where I was planning on staying last night, but I ended up having to move on because I was critical on water. So it just brings back memories going over this road, and now it's beautiful, and I can sit here and talk to you and film it just with my door open. If I had done that, then the van would have just been absolutely full of sand, and it was after that too. It took a long time to get all that sand out of all the different areas that it got into. I'm grateful for this beautiful weather here on this road, and I'm going to go try again at that spot that I had to abandon because the wind got so bad, and we'll see. We'll spend another night there and then continue on into Texas tomorrow.
Climb a mountain oh so high.